Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey, at 6 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, in Cafeteria B of Westfield High School, 550 Dorian Road, Westfield, New Jersey. The Board will move immediately into private session to discuss matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including personnel matters. The public portion of the meeting will resume at 7 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the Board and to transact any other business to come properly before the Board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, June 6, 2024, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education, located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap Into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of the meeting. Patty, may we have a roll call, please?
Rob Bonaccio.
Here.
Kent Diamond.
Here.
Brendan Galligan. Charles Gelinas.
Here.
Layla Morelli.
Here.
Sonal Patel.
Here.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz.
Here.
Julie Steinberg.
Here.
Mary Wickens.
All right, we'll now move to a flag salute. Kent, would you mind? I'd now like to ask the Board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including the superintendent's evaluation, and be it further resolved that any discussion held by the Board, which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Do I have a second? Second. Kent? Do this by, all right, all right, all in favor, please? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, we're in executive session. Everybody, I'd like to get started if we can. Just want to get started if we can, please. Hello. Hello. Oh, here we go. All right. I need the elementary school kids in the front to help me with the big shh. There we go. Thank you guys very much. Much appreciated. I want to thank the crowd for coming out to celebrate Casey's last meeting today. Oh, wait, that's not the only reason you're here. So we're going to get started again back in public session. We're going to start with a series of recognitions as you're all here. We will start with the winner of the Rotary Club Steengraff Award, Maria Martinez, and Dr. Gonzalez.
Thank you. At our last board meeting, we welcomed the recipients of intermediate and high school staff awards of excellence. Tonight, we are pleased to recognize the recipients of 2 awards generously sponsored by the Rotary Club of Westfield. Last year, the Rotary Club introduced the Wayman Steengraff Award to honor any non-certificated staff member across the district. This year's recipient, Westfield High School paraprofessional Maria Martinez, was unable to join us tonight. But at this time, I'm going to ask our board president, Robert Bernaccio, to read a resolution in her honor.
So, whereas Wayman Steengraff began teaching social studies in the Westfield Public Schools in 1942, before serving as principal at Franklin, Tamaqua, and Wilson Elementary Schools, and whereas the Rotary Club of Westfield has established a fellowship in memory of Wayman Steengraff, a lifelong Rotarian from 1966 to 2010, who served as club president and district governor. And whereas Maria Martinez, a paraprofessional at Westfield High School, who has been serving students and staff for the past 22 years, has been awarded the 2nd Annual Steengraff Fellowship, which recognizes an employee who works full-time and is non-certificated with a minimum of 5 years in the Westfield Public School District, who is dedicated, kind, and supportive, and who has demonstrated a clear commitment to the students and staff of the Westfield Public Schools. And whereas Maria Martinez is commended as a devoted educator who exhibits a genuine interest in student success, encouraging students to reach their fullest academic potential while boosting their self-esteem. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this Board of Education publicly express appreciation to the Rotary Club for establishing this award, and be it further resolved that this Board of Education sincerely congratulates Maria Martinez for being named the 2024 Wayman Steengraff Fellow, a significant honor and a notable accomplishment. And be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Maria Martinez on June 11, 2024, and that a copy of this formal resolution becomes a part of the permanent records of this Board of Education. Congratulations, Maria.
And additionally, for the past 31 years, the Rotary Club recognizes a teacher at the elementary level with the Charles Philhauer Fellowship Award. With us tonight is this year's Philhauer Fellow, McKinley Grade 4 teacher, Brannis Moore. Before we invite Mrs. Moore up to the podium to say a few words, Mr. Bernaccio will again read a resolution from the board, followed by remarks by McKinley Principal, Mrs. Mary McCabe, and then we'll wrap up the recognition with a photograph on stage.
So, whereas Charles Philhauer distinguished himself as an outstanding educator during 30 years of service as Westfield Superintendent of Schools from 1917 to 1947, helping establish Westfield as a premier school district in the state of New Jersey. And whereas the Rotary Club of Westfield has established a fellowship in memory of Charles Philhauer, co-founder and past president of the Rotary Club. And whereas this memorial is a fitting tribute to the importance of teaching in the early childhood and elementary grades and the nobility of the teaching profession. And whereas Brannis Moore, a 4th grade teacher at McKinley Elementary School, who has been serving Westfield students for 10 years, has been awarded the 31st Annual Philhauer Fellowship Award for outstanding teaching, interest in children, and continued pursuit of professional growth. And whereas Brannis Moore is commended as a fantastic role model and outstanding educator who is able to explain and demonstrate concepts in a variety of ways for a variety of different learners and learning styles. Now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Education publicly express appreciation to the Rotary Club for establishing this award, and be it further resolved that this Board of Education sincerely congratulates Brannis Moore for being named the 2024 Charles Philhauer Fellow, a significant honor and a notable accomplishment. And be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Brannis Moore on June 11th, 2024, and that a copy of this formal resolution becomes a part of the permanent records of this Board of Education.
To the Rotary Club, is it on? Thank you to the Rotary Club and to the board for taking the time to recognize our outstanding teachers. I am Mary McCabe, and on behalf of the entire McKinley community, I just want to express how very proud we are to have Mrs. Moore as the 2024 recipient of the Philhauer Award. As you can tell from the cheering, our hallways erupted with applause when people found out that Mrs. Moore had won this year's Philhauer. We know that she is absolutely most deserving of this honor. She is a trusted mentor for her colleagues and a guiding force for her students. When describing Mrs. Moore, one parent shared, "We teach our children to be respectful, to be kind, and to put their best foot forward." We are so lucky that our children are in a classroom every day with a teacher who shares these same values. Mrs. Moore, you have very high expectations of your students, and you work hard every day to make sure they reach these expectations. You are supportive of your colleagues, and you model a lifelong passion for learning. We are better because of you, and we are so, so lucky to have you at McKinley School. Congratulations, and thank you for your commitment to our community and to elementary education. We are so grateful. Okay, so thank you. So I prepared just a couple things to say. Surprisingly, this year marks my 20th year of teaching, and I'm so honored to receive this Teacher of the Year award during this milestone year in my professional career. The Philhauer Fellowship recognition means the world to me, and I'm incredibly grateful. As far back as I can remember, my father always called education the family profession. Both my father's parents worked in education here in New Jersey. My grandmother was a fourth grade teacher her entire career. My grandfather was a high school truancy officer. My father followed in their footsteps as a high school English teacher and later an English professor at the collegiate level. My maternal grandmother even was a successful daycare owner. My mother, however short-lived, even went to school to be an art teacher in undergrad. I was always taught that the importance of educators is not only being skilled in their delivery, but also being an upstanding mentor to their students. From summers spent setting up classrooms to observing the lasting impression educators leave on students and families in the eyes of their past students when they were greeted in passing, I always knew I'd find myself in a classroom being the type of teacher that I looked up to. I started my teaching career as a first grade teacher for the Elizabeth Board of Education in 2004 in the very district that I grew up in. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to continue my growth as an educator in both North Carolina and Virginia before coming back to New Jersey in 2014 to settle with my growing family. My tenure within the Westfield School District has afforded me with numerous leadership and professional development opportunities to further hone my craft, engaging students in the classroom, in addition to working behind the scenes to better understand administrative structures. While it has been a unique journey, the students, colleagues, and curriculum I've encountered along the way have broadened my perspective and underscored the impact that educators make. Teaching is hard work,
filled with joy, challenges, and countless memorable moments. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to my colleagues and administration. Your support and collaboration have been invaluable to me. To the families, thank you for your continuous support of my efforts and your partnership. And lastly, my students, both past and present, you are the reason I come to work with a smile each day. I would also like to thank my husband, Jason, for his continued encouragement and understanding, my oldest daughter, Phoenix, for her countless unpaid hours every year setting up my classroom, my middle daughter, Sydney, for her continuous book recommendations that I use to make me seem cool and knowledgeable with my students, and last but not least, our youngest daughter, Nova, for always keeping me on my toes. I couldn't have done this without my home team. In closing, I dedicate this award to every teacher who goes above and beyond, often without recognition. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. I'm deeply appreciative of being able to represent former and future Phil Howard Fellows in our collective demonstration of the importance of teaching.
Congratulations again to Mrs. Martinez and Mrs. Moore. Our deepest appreciation to the Rotary Club of Westfield for honoring our faculty and staff in this special way. I now turn it over to Mr. Bernaccio to continue our celebration of our talented students.
Okay, we're now going to move on to recognition of our students who have excelled in our classroom, on the field, and on the stage. We'll begin with our 2024 National Merit Scholars. As part of the prestigious selection process, the National Merit Scholarship Corporation examines each finalist's academic record and the student's essay, along with demonstrated leadership and contributions to school and community activities. I'll call up each student in alphabetical order to receive a certificate of recognition from Dr. Gonzalez before proceeding to the stage for a photograph. First is Jacob Blaustein. Next is Yenjae Hu. And finally, Tej Mehta. So congratulations again to our 3 National Merit Scholars. I want to note that Yenjae and Tej also were recently honored by the Union County Superintendent's Roundtable, which recognizes the top 2 scholars from each high school in Union County. Next up, are the talented cast members of the Westfield High School fall production of Antigone, who won the Montclair State Foxy Award for Outstanding Acting Ensemble in an Elevated Language Play. I know that the entire cast is not here. When you're good, you get honored in a lot of different places, but I know there are some representatives of the cast here today. So we'll read off the names of everyone in the cast who was honored, and if you're here, come on up for recognition, and thank you for representing the group. So to further support that, as I speak, Westfield High School Theater Director Daniel Devlin is attending another prestigious high school drama award ceremony, the Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Awards, for which the Westfield High School spring musical, Heathers, received several nominations. As one of the nominees, Kiera Redmond is attending the Rising Star ceremony with Mr. Devlin. She received a Foxy Award for Outstanding Achievement by a student lighting technician for Antigone. We look forward to hearing the Rising Star Award outcomes. Now again, I'll list the cast of Antigone. We'll do it in alphabetical order. If you're here, please come up and accept the certificate. So there's Annabelle Barker, Kara Kogan, Charlotte Catronio, I got one, Ben Dickerson, Garrett Gow. Oh, wow. All right, we got a bunch. Alexandra Haar, Francesca Hamra, Owen Eng. Yeah, don't. Rachel Clem, Skylar Lipkin, Chloe McAuliffe, Jordan Mirione, Luella Mockbee, Caroline Morelli, Ella Oberstein, Nadia Rigo, Keaton Shepard, Izzy Shrahane, Madeline Smith, there we go, and Ethan Young. Maybe you're around for the whole cast and the representatives, please. So next, we have a number of our spring athletic teams with us tonight. What an exciting weekend it was at state finals. We're thrilled to recognize our student athletes for their phenomenal seasons. Usually I try to say a few words myself about each team's long list of athletic achievements. However, given tonight's full house, I will leave it up to your coaches to say a few words in summary about the team's amazing accomplishments. I'm going to mix up the agenda order of recognition a little bit, as I know some of the teams are heading over to the town council following their recognition here. So if you do have to exit, feel free. Let me begin with the boys track and field team. We have tonight, okay, we can do one more. Boys track and field team, here we go. We have here tonight both North 2 Group 4 sectional champions and Group 4 state champions. What a remarkable year for our runners and field event athletes, earning their third state Group 4 championship for the program. First cross country in the fall, then winter track, and now the first spring state title in nearly 50 years. On behalf of Dr. Gonzalez and the full board, we congratulate you for continuing to excel in so many impressive ways on and off the field. Please listen as I call your name in alphabetical order. You know the drill, since this is not the first time, second time, or third time for many of you to come before the board. You don't have to run, you can walk too. Please come up to accept a certificate of recognition from Dr. Gonzalez and proceed onto the stage to await a photograph. Sam Braun. State and sectional champion Max Cho. Jeremy Cruz. State and sectional champion Ryan Daly. State and sectionals champion Emmanuel Gallanillo. Douglas G. State and sectional champion Andrew Jokas. State and sectional champion Jimmy Gilday. State and sectional champion James Hamilton. Brenton Hatch. State and sectional champion Avery Keith. Graham Corrins. Gabriel Leachy. Nico Lucas. Sam Luzariaga. Dwayne Magno. State and sectional champion Eamon Mason. State and sectional champion Rowan McMahill. Tej Mehta. State and sectional champion Lincoln Myers. David Moreland. State and sectional champion Noah Petrossi. Tyler Petrowitz. Charlie Prieto. Max Reisman. State and sectional champion Noah Rubenstein. State and sectional champion Christian Sanford. Joe Simone. State and sectional champion Caleb Stockman. State and sectional champion Alex Valencia. Charlie Vanacek. State and sectional champion Neil Wise. And Ethan Zhu. And one last recognition for the coaches. If any have joined tonight, please come up for a certificate and a photo. Eric Anderson. Matt Ansel. Mirjana Bannock. Jack Campbell. Sam Heyman. Ricardo Johnson. Don McDonald. John Preston. And finally, head coach Chris Stefelski. Coach, before joining your team on stage, if you'd like to give a few remarks.
Thank you so much for taking the time to recognize these boys. It was 1977 was the last Group 4 state championship for an outdoor track team from Westfield. That team, I think, had an NFL player on it. I actually found a picture in the coach's office a couple of years ago. There's a lot of old stuff in some of those drawers. There's two guys, Butch Woolfolk and Frank Kelly, who are like legendary Westfield athletes, going 1-2 in the Group 4 100-meter dash in 1977 en route to winning that. And in fourth place as a ninth grader in that race was Carl Lewis. Who was a freshman at Willingboro in 1977, and the last time we won a Group 4 state championship. So a black and white picture, just like in some random folder in a drawer. Should be in a museum, but yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this is really like an effort that, I mean, if you look at all the athletes who are in this room, you know, the support for Westfield athletics starts here. It starts with our central administration. It starts with our school board. It extends to our building administration. Our athletic director, Sandy, is here. Yeah. So thank you, Sandy. Our athletic trainers, Chris and Nicole, who keep these guys healthy, which is sometimes a real battle. And our community groups, the Westfield Boosters, the Friends of Westfield Track and Field. Really, I mean, when you talk about the educational goal of bringing together school and community, and of course, they're all supported by wonderful families who make tremendous sacrifices to give their kids the opportunity, the chance that maybe they could do something like this. And so, you know, we scored 125 points in our sectional meet. Last year, we scored 93 to win. And to score 77 at a Group 4 meet, when you're bringing in all the other sectional champions together into the same meet, it's a very high score. I looked back, I could only find in the last 30 years, I could only find one team that scored more than 77 points in the last 25 years or so. I didn't get that far back, but it was good enough for me. Really, I mean, these guys have elevated the profile of Westfield track nationally, within the state, but also within the town of Westfield and within Westfield High School, right? We've got 140 boys on our spring track team. This is about 25% of them. And so the other 75% of kids, they're held to the same standard of conduct, commitment, effort, and teamwork. These guys set the tone. They make the impact on the younger ones. And the train just keeps running. I'd also, you know, because while we have all of these teams here, one of the defining moments for this state championship came the Monday after the sectionals, because the night of the sectionals was the prom. And the Monday after the prom, there are a lot of empty parking spots. So we had every single senior made a sacrifice, a social sacrifice, to be at practice for the opportunity that maybe they would be able to pull this off. And we were, yes, and we were in the bleachers starting practice, and the lacrosse team was on the field, and every single one of them was doing the exact same thing so that they would have the opportunity to do what they also did. So I think, you know, life is about making difficult choices. I think sport is a great vehicle for teaching life lessons. It truly is co-curricular. And I think that was, these guys were rewarded for making the very difficult choices that they had to make. So we're tremendously proud of them. We're very grateful for the opportunity given to us by you, by our administration, by the community, by families. And it's a really special thing. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to move right to the next team. Let everybody grab a seat for a sec. All right, next team is the boys lacrosse team. All right. Apparently, let the kids get out. Okay, we had to let the fourth grade escape just briefly. All right, next. Next is the boys lacrosse team. So the boys lacrosse team also captured the Group 4 state title this weekend for the first time in a decade. Please accept the board's sincere congratulations and come forward as I call your name, again, boys lacrosse, to receive a certificate of recognition from Dr. Gonzalez and await a photograph on stage. Evan Alvarez. Andrew Amon. Luke Angelo. Joshua Caramagno. Cooper Chororos. Cooper Chimay. Jack Clark. Colin Coyle. Stephen Chorba. Garrett Ferguson. Quinn Floor. Billy Gurn. Kieran Gurn. And we can't forget Luke Gurn.
I sure hope so.
Christian Guilford. Corey Guilford. Fareed Habayeb. Matthew Hanlon. Thomas Holland. Luke Jordan. Alex Kim. Will Kirby. Oliver Kosach. Sean Kenke. Gavin LeConte. Cody Lamb. Blake Manson. Michael Marshall. Danny McGann. Brendan O'Connor. Jack Paris. Colby Parmalee. TJ Pitta. Drew Pravlik. Harrison Reckemeyer. Kevin Reinders. Cooper Richmond. Blake Rudow. Jack Schwarzenbeck. Ben Seward. Chris Smock. Snoke. Luke Spade. Philip Spurn. Emilio Venelrod. And Kobe Waldman. Also call up the coaching staff and if the head coach wants to give some remarks before we come up on stage. Start with assistant coach Tom Pileski. JV coach Brendan Hickey. 9th grade coach Chris Yoon. And head coach Boomer Wertheimer. Coach Wertheimer, floor is yours.
I'm going to make this quick. I'm not a man for many words. I'd like to first thank the board, Westfield High School, the administration, Sandy. Way back when I was the ball boy in '86 and she was just the trainer, and we grew up with Sandy as my trainer. And now that I'm a head coach, getting her one of the last state championships is very special to me. I'd like to thank the town, the community, Westfield Lacrosse Club for all their support, the board, their support. And one of the cool things about tonight is the tracks here, that we're here, because we all share this space at Kaler. We work so well together to make sure that we're all able to prep for games, for meets, and that we're all under one umbrella and we all get it done. Thank you. go to the other one. Yo, let's all put our seats back in very respectful.
All right, next up, our girls track and field athletes also continue to dominate this spring. Winning the hard-fought North 2 Group 4 sectional championship, along with a number of individual records and achievements, was the program's first sectional title in school history. Again, I'll leave it to the coaches. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Again, I'll leave it to the coaches to sum up your inspiring season after I call you up in alphabetical order. Cheyenne Blackwell. Ashley Cunningham. Priscilla Dayan. Gabby Demeter. Araceli Gallanillo. Victoria G. Sophia Gesser. Grace Kim. Anna Kylish. Vanessa Larkin. Kira Lensner. Maya Nair. Sean O'Brien. Emma Pranke. Lily Petrie. Livia Reyes. Morgan Samet. Sienna Shale. Darcy Shiner. Claire Seawald. Reagan Stevens. Emma Sullivan. Olivia Thornton. Lena Wright. Anna Youssef. And Jessica Zhao. Now for the... Uh-oh. Who do I got? Okay. I may have a couple of names that I missed. Sorry. All right. We're gonna do a little help over here. Maura Highland. Come on up. Alexis Ray. Lauren Oliveira. And Jordan Hayter. Sorry about that. All right. I appreciate the assist. Everybody good? All right, now for the coaches. Mirjana Bannock. Jack Campbell. Trevor Mahoney. John Preston, and head coach Joe Berardi. Coach Berardi, if you'd like to say a few words.
So thank you guys again for having us here. We were in the winter here. We were here with a couple girls that were sectional champions and state champions. But it's great to be back with the whole complement, the whole team that competed last weekend and are sectional champions for the first time in program history. Just a couple words and a couple thanks. I want to thank Miss Mamery. She hired me probably back before when I thought I can do this. She always believed in me and kind of had faith on me. Even when you were tough on me, Sandy, we got through this. And so I just wanted to thank you for everything you kind of believed in me over the years. Appreciate that. Thanks to the Board of Ed, parents. I always want to give them a shout out. The girls I work with on a daily basis, some of the best, most humble, hardworking young ladies I get to work with, and it's a privilege I get to work with them. And to see something like this, sectional championship, come to fruition after so many years of being close and close and close, to kind of finally get over that hump with these collection of girls, with a very close team, a team that cares for each other, loves each other, and is going to do what it takes is awfully inspiring as a coach. And I'm just kind of so happy and really just humbled to be around you guys, because it's really been a great ride, especially with those seniors. You guys kind of came in and bought into this thing 2 and 3 years ago for most of you guys, and to see you guys kind of close it out in dramatic fashion. We won by a couple points over another tough team. Was really just, it was a fitting way to end, especially after winter being kind of on the other side of that, couple points short, and really being close over the years. To finally, really for a lot of you guys seniors, it was your last chance, and to be the first team to do this in a 47-year program history is very, very special. And I'm glad. Last year when I was up here with one athlete, and it was a great moment. But of course, you want to be surrounded by your teammates, and you want to be surrounded by all those girls and all your teammates that kind of help push you to get you where you were. And to have a full complement of 30 girls up here tonight is really special. So I just want to thank you guys for a great season, and we close it out this week with Meet the Champs and Nationals, but truly was one for the ages, and I appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
All right. Next, congratulations also to our boys tennis team, also North 2, Group 4 sectional champions. Thank you for your patience on this evening. I look forward to hearing more about your season from Coach Varley. In the meantime, please come forward as I call your names alphabetically to receive a certificate and move on to the stage to await a photo. Jake Blaustein. Colin Chimay. Ben Dwan. Garrett Gow. Leo Goldman. Cole Hornbeck. Evan Kahn. Carl Kane. Ishan Kara. Justin Lee. Ethan Lung. Devin Patel. You may know him. Arden Rappaport. Evan Seawald. Krishav Singla. And Chris Winters. Also like to recognize JV coach Daniel Pereira. And invite head coach Matthew Varley up to say a few words. Coach?
The room thinned out a little bit. Really, the captains, you should be making this speech, not me. It's your team. I'm just your number one fan. However, I'll do the thank yous for you. We're going to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Gonzalez, the school administration, Sandy. I can't tell you how much, we're going to miss you and your support leading the county as the athletic director for the county. The boosters, the parents, the entire community, thank you very much for a great season. We finished in first place in the Watch-On Conference, first place in the county tournament, first place in the Group 4 North 2 section, and we lost in the Group 4 final 3-2 in a hard-fought match. And our season just ended a couple hours ago with our doubles competing in the state doubles tournament. I could feel the sun tan lotion burning in my eyes right now. Our second doubles team made it all the way to the quarterfinals, which has never happened in our history. And I have to go back to the history, but our first doubles made it all the way to the semifinals. So it's been a really great season, and thanks everybody for all the support.
So I know the tennis team, I think, has a fundraiser. It's this Friday, I think, right? Tamakos Park? Yeah. So if you can come out and support the tennis team for that, please do so. Congratulations to our scholars, actors, and athletes for joining us tonight. We're grateful to all the staff, students, families, and instructors who made this evening such a celebration. Give the room one more second before we get to the business of the board. We have one more item. And this is a resolution for our student rep, Casey Iser. There we go. As we approach the conclusion of another impactful year, it's imperative to acknowledge the significant contributions of our student representative on the Westfield Board of Education, Casey Iser. Throughout his one-year term, Casey has exemplified dedication and advocacy, as noted in this resolution, which I would like to read now and will present you with a copy of. Whereas Casey Iser has served as student representative on the Westfield Board of Education from September 2023 to June 2024. And whereas, as student representative, Casey Iser has provided comprehensive reports on the many activities and achievements at Westfield High School. And whereas Casey Iser has remained committed to ensuring that the voices of all students are heard. And whereas, as Westfield High School Student Government President, a member of the No Place for Hate Club, and one of the editors-in-chief for the student newspaper High's Eye, Casey Iser has proven to be a knowledgeable and dedicated leader. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this Board of Education recognizes Casey Iser for his volunteerism and service on the Westfield Board of Education, and be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Casey Iser on June 11th, 2024, and that a copy of this resolution attesting to the appreciation of the Board of Education becomes part of the official minutes of the meeting. Congratulations. We have a little something for you. You get a resolution and a picture too, so come on up. Okay, next, we'll move to a report by district administration. Dr. Gonzalez?
Thank you. I will keep my remarks brief this evening, just given the amount of recognitions and celebrations that took place already. But I do want to just use the opportunity to congratulate our senior class of 2024, who will be wrapping up their educational journey here in Westfield over the next week, as well as all of those other major milestone celebrations that are going to take place over the next 10 days or so as students transition to the next grade. It's a true testament of their hard work and efforts, but as well as the hard work and efforts of the staff, the parents, and all of the individuals who make up the Westfield school community. So it's truly a time to celebrate for all of us. At this time, I also do want to provide a quick update on our referendum planning. Since our last meeting, we have not had another Community Advisory Committee meeting. That is scheduled for this coming Monday. So I look forward to continuing the conversation with our Community Advisory Committee, who are about 60 people strong, who will once again convene and meet to discuss opportunities for us to identify the priorities that will eventually make up our referendum proposal for next April. However, during the last week, we sent out an email to the school community, including our staff as well as their students in grades 9 through 12, to invite them to participate in a thought exchange. If you recall, the thought exchange is an opportunity for the community to voice their opinion about the priorities for the school district and to allow others to be able to provide their feedback on what those priorities are. So specifically, the question that has been posed to everyone through the thought exchange is what are some of the things you would most like to see in a facilities referendum in order to support the success of our students? And that question is very specific because it doesn't speak to all the things that you would like to see in all of our district. It's really focused on the facilities of our district. So I invite everyone to continue to participate in the thought exchange via the link that has been provided in prior emails. And if you've already contributed, that's great, but you could still continue to contribute. To date, we have over 950 participants who have submitted over 620 thoughts. And in addition to all of those thoughts and all of those participants, we have a total of 23,256 ratings. So the amount of qualitative data that we're getting back is tremendous. So there's still time for people to provide their feedback, to submit their comments. And please, encourage your friends, your neighbors, as well as your classmates in the high school to provide their input by Thursday, this Thursday, 5 p.m. Other than that, we do look forward to a second meeting this month, so I will reserve any additional comments until that time. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Gonzalez? All right, so one more time, we gave you the resolution, but we're still going to put you to work. A report from our high school student representative.
As the year winds down, Westfield High School students are finishing off strong. The Westfield lacrosse team, both track and field teams, and the boys tennis team recently won their respective Group 4 championships, as we all saw tonight. Some seniors recently celebrated receiving the Seal of Biliteracy, and the American Scholastic Press Association awarded the student newspaper Hi-Zi Most Outstanding High School Weekly Newspaper for 2023 to 2024, while Hi-Zi Sports was also recognized by that organization. Since the last board meeting, seniors have continued to attend the classic send-off traditions that are a staple at Westfield High School. On Thursday, May 30th, seniors attended the senior picnic. There, they picked up their caps and gowns, ate ice cream, and watched a student versus staff kickball game. 2 days later, seniors had a great time at the prom, which was hosted at Pines Manor. This week, seniors will have the opportunity to attend a final clap-out at their elementary schools. When students graduate 5th grade, a clap-out ceremony takes place in which they take a final lap through the elementary school while the rest of the school cheers them on. Now, students will return 7 years later to take the same lap through their elementary schools, this time dressed in caps and gowns as they prepare to leave the Westfield School District. Looking ahead, final exams will begin for students starting tomorrow. This year, there is a new opportunity for students to receive extra help from their teachers before exams officially begin, which is a welcome change for students hoping to review one last time before tests. Exams will run through next week, culminating in graduation, which will be held next Thursday, June 20th. Lastly, as this is my last Board of Education meeting as student representative, I would like to thank Dr. Gonzalez and the entire board for welcoming me this year. Being able to serve in this position was a true honor, and I loved being able to represent the student body and learn about all the impactful work the board does on behalf of the students and the community. Thank you all so much, and I hope everyone has a great summer.
Again, best of luck. Come back and visit us. I know it's a fun meeting to attend. So. Next, we'll move to board committee reports. We'll start with a report from the Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment Committee Chair, Kristen.
Good evening. Can we hear me? Yes? Okay. SIP met yesterday to begin reviewing a series of curricular no, you can or you can. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, sorry. Curriculum documents that will be up for first reading at our last meeting in June. Because there are so many documents to review, we will also be meeting next Monday. During our meeting, Dr. Bolton provided an overview of the district's new Understanding by Design, known as UBD, model of writing curriculum. The presentation reviewed the overarching principles of the curriculum model and the rationale for its adoption. Dr. Bolton shared that as part of Goal 1 of the district's strategic plan, the Curriculum Office has actively worked to create curriculum documents that focus on the development of student understanding, the acquisition of key transfer skills, and providing students with ample opportunities to apply their learning in authentic ways. The UBD framework enhances the district's ability to create curriculum documents that serve as an important resource for our teachers and an effective communication tool for our families. The UBD model engages curriculum writing teams in a backward design, a 3-stage process in the creation of curriculum documents. Stage 1 of this process is the public-facing document that is reviewed by the board's curriculum committee and adopted by the full board. Stage 1 represents the desired outcomes within a course of study. It presents the units of studies within each course, provides teachers with a pacing guide to the scope and sequence of the course, and outlines key understandings, skills, and knowledge that students will derive from engaging with the content. Additionally, Stage 1 curriculum lists the New Jersey Student Learning Standards and the New Jersey curricular mandates that are addressed throughout the course. Once Stage 1 curriculum is approved by the board, teacher teams and supervisors will continue the curriculum writing process as they develop Stage 2, agreed upon evidence of learning. In other words, the teachers will collaborate by grade or subject, depending on the age of their students, to determine the assessment evidence they would like to use to evaluate whether students are achieving the desired outcomes outlined in the Stage 1 document. Finally, after our teacher teams agree on the desired outcomes and the assessment methods, the teams will enter Stage 3, where they develop the learning plan. After Dr. Bolton's presentation, the committee reviewed new curriculum documents in K-8 English Language Arts, presented by Mrs. Liz Riley, as well as an updated 8th grade social studies curriculum presented by social studies supervisor Mrs. Andrea Brennan. These documents are available for your review on the board portal now, but they will not be on agenda for first reading until June 25th. The committee will meet again on June 17th to review new math, computer science, and technology education curriculum documents. These documents are also available on the portal now and will be on the board's June 25th meeting. A couple of notes. This process will take time, and therefore the aforementioned collaboration will be the focus of our teaching team's PD over the next couple of years. 2, there are a very large amount of Stage 1 documents that are up for first reading on the June 25th agenda, so Rob and I highly recommend everyone begin reviewing them now. If you have questions, please don't. It took us a long time, so just a heads up. Please do not hesitate to forward them to myself or Rob. And then 3, when you do review the documents, remember the Stage 1 documents are big picture documents. Information on assessment and learning plans will be contained in Stage 2 and 3. Our next scheduled meeting is June 17th. Any questions? It was very long, I know. Sorry. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
We'll move to if there's any report from Finance and Facilities.
No report from us tonight. We are meeting on Friday.
Okay, thank you, Brendan. Next, report from Policies, Personnel, and Governance.
We didn't have a formal meeting since our last Board of Ed meeting, but tonight, Policy 3232 is up for first reading. It is our tutoring policy. Language was added upon the recommendation of Board Counsel. The amendment is in reference to evaluations or counseling that would potentially be used by a parent as the basis to request a 504 or other referral, specifically to avoid placing staff members into possible professional conflicts as well as possible conflicts of interest. Certified staff members may not provide fee-based private evaluation services or counseling services to district students. Any other educational tutoring will fall in line with the rest of the policy. Additionally, Policy 5512, our harassment, intimidation, and bullying, was reviewed by our attorney. There were emails to the board suggesting changes to board policies to reflect AI-related offenses, and it was determined that most of the recommendations already existed in our policies or could not be changed because of the language that is mandated by the law. However, upon the recommendation of Board Counsel, the definition of cyberbullying is being revised to include a more explicit reference to including the use of artificial intelligence or AI technology. Regulation 5600 was discussed at our prior PPG meeting, and this was our review of the Code of Conduct, which was reviewed by the school principals and updated. It's available on the portal. Our elementary schools, the recess detention language was added to align with recess law, basically stating that recess shall be held outside if feasible. A student shall not be denied recess for any reason except as a consequence of the violation of the district's Code of Conduct. And that if a student is denied recess, the student shall be provided restorative justice activities during the recess period. A student may not be denied recess more than twice a week. Intermediate and high school was explicit language was added regarding inappropriate use of artificial intelligence, social media, and network resources, violations of academic integrity policy, false reporting, falsely activating a fire alarm, or reporting of an emergency, hate speech and a bias incident, creation, possession, or distribution of obscene and pornographic material, sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, and inappropriate contact. The Section M was updated with the policy regarding the annual review and update of the Code of Conduct, which is that the superintendent of schools will establish a process for the annual review and update of the Student Discipline Code of Conduct policy and regulation that may involve a committee of parents, students, and community members that represent, where possible, the composition of the district, schools, and community. The superintendent will report to the board the process used for the annual review of this policy and regulation, and will recommend to the board updates, if any, to the Student Discipline Code of Conduct policy and regulation that we are approving tonight. That was a lot, but you all had it beforehand. But any questions? Okay, that's it.
All right, seeing none, we will move on to recognizing the public on agenda items only. Agenda items, just for the public's edification, are the items that are lettered and numbered in our agenda, put forth in different colors that we're actually voting on. If you have comments on things that are not in those specific items of the agenda, there'll be an opportunity to do that once we vote on those items, not too shortly from now. So, recognizing public on agenda items only, during this portion of the meeting, district residents and staff are invited to address the Board of Education on agenda action items only. As a courtesy, please allow current students and staff of Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable for the record, the specific items they are commenting on, and ask that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration, and I think Melanie Estevez can help with the sign-in process if anyone needs assistance with that. Okay. Seeing no comments on agenda items only, I will close public comment for that purpose. Again, there'll be an opportunity for a more general comment later on. So let's move to the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2024 regular board meeting? Brendan, may I have a second? Julie? We can do this, I think, voice vote. All in favor? All right. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next, Sonal, would you please move the governance section of the agenda, please?
I'd like to move item A under governance section of tonight's agenda. Can I have a second? Thank you, Kent. I think that's you. Oh, any discussion?
Seeing none?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Jelinas,
Abstain.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Abstain.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, Mary, would you move the personnel items, please?
You got it. Okay. I'd like to move items A through EE under the I'm reading this thing. Oh my gosh, I'm just reading. Under the personnel section of tonight's agenda, under the XYZ. Is there a second? Sonal? Thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Dr. G, not you tonight?
At this time, I have no retirements or anything
Okay.
to announce, but afterwards, I'm going to invite someone up to speak.
Okay. Yes. CJ?
Thank you. For me at least, this is something of a rarity here. You know, I'll be, you know, I've reviewed the personnel votes, and I'll be respectfully voting no on some particular personnel matters this evening. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to explain that my decision is based on more of the constituent-facing democratic element of our role as board members. You know, I've received a lot of inputs from parents, students, and staff members about the particular item that I've received over the last month, and I ascribe a particularly high value to that. And I just wanted it to be clear that it's not a reflection upon or opinion about the administration's you know, efforts with respect to any and all personnel matters where they ensure a proper, efficient, and legal functioning of the school district. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Jelinas,
No for Z1 and Z2, yes for all others.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to quickly just take the opportunity to acknowledge among the items on the personnel agenda this evening, we had the opportunity to effectuate the changes that were made possible through the generosity of the board and the community in the approval of the budget for the 24-25 school year. Got to keep track of it all. During that time, if you recall, we had requested support in expanding our administrative opportunities in our schools by separating out the responsibilities for pre-K to 12 supervision of our student support services. That's inclusive of special education, our intervention and referral services, 504, and academic and intervention services, really representing the continuum of opportunities for our schools to provide academic supports to our students. Currently, we have that department headed up by Dr. Weissman, our assistant superintendent, and he is supported by Alex Linden as the single supervisor. But over the course of the budgeting cycle, we had requested the opportunity to add a second supervisor, thus allowing us to break out the supervision between a K-5 or pre-K-5 and a 6-12 separation. So with that, this evening, we approved the reclassification of Alex Linden, our current supervisor of special services, to the 6-12 continuum. And we also had the opportunity to approve Kathleen Nishawat as the K-5 supervisor of student support services. She is joining us this evening. We are thrilled to have her as part of our team. And at this time, I'd like to invite her to the podium to introduce herself and share a few words.
Good evening. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Westfield Board of Education and Administration, Dr. Gonzalez, for the opportunity to join the esteemed staff of the Westfield Public School District. As a former teacher, school psychologist, case manager, and district administrator, I have firsthand experience in identifying gaps in the social, emotional, and academic achievement of students and developing robust programs to support our children. I look forward to partnering with the school district to create strong systems of support at the elementary level to allow our children to thrive. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Just to note, The selection process was certainly arduous, and the selection of Ms. Nishawat in joining us was really part of a candidate pool of over 70 candidates and applicants who applied for this position. So I do want to thank her for her interest and congratulating her for rising to the top. We look forward to working with you this coming school year.
Thank you. Welcome on board. Next, we'll move to the finance and facilities portion of the agenda. Kent?
Thank you. I'd like to move items A through P under the finance section of tonight's agenda. There's some highlights. I'd like to highlight a couple of donations. First, from the Westfield Coalition for the Arts in the amount of $4,075.89 to purchase a TV for Mr. Ruggieri's Westfield High School Visual Art Classroom and an electronic marimba for the Westfield High School Marching Band. And second, thank you to the Rake and Hoe Garden Club for a $100 donation to purchase garden supplies for Wilson's first grade classes. Taking these two and add them to the school year to date, we have donations totaling $86,844.71. So a big thanks to everyone. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Kristen. Any questions, comments? Bueller?
Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Jelinas,
Yes.
Leila Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Abstain from Part O, yes to all other parts.
and Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, now to the policy portion of the agenda. Leila?
I'd like to move item A under the policy section of tonight's agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
CJ, thank you. Any questions? You have a question? Go ahead.
And this is kind of a multi-part question. Well, so what I wanted to do was take the moment first to acknowledge, as kind of lead up to this, that the policy changes proposed tonight in Policy 5512 in connection with AI, I think represent a positive move forward in our confronting the challenges posed by such technological innovations. As I indicated, when these circumstances first arose last year, these challenges, what Joseph Schumpeter might have called creative destruction, and here I'm concerned with the destruction side of that equation, seemingly pulled the rug out from under our feet from a societal perspective. Really, without even intending it, generative AI quickly leads to radical changes to the way kids relate to each other and unanticipated dangers to their emotional well-being and safety. It's altered the way we educate our students, how we enforce discipline in regard to things like cyberbullying and plagiarism, and whether we can continue to effectively promote ethical and citizen-like behavior among them when that technology is rampant. But as this technology, among others, and here's my question, when we should remain focused on the ill effects of the use of smartphones in and out of school, and in the maladaptive reliance upon social media platforms for purposes of information gathering and socialization, but that list is nowhere near exhaustive. I want to understand whether we can have a conversation about more curbing of more technological innovations as we proceed, as the boundaries of personal and school life are far too porous, and they've made our kids especially vulnerable. So I want to see whether or not that's something that we can discuss. I know these particular changes were based on both changes to the law and parental input, and so I'd like to see whether or not we could expand that within the reach of the law, but to be as kind of innovative and creative as the effects of the technology itself is having on us.
Are you asking me that question?
I mean, Leila, we would bring that up in policy,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
The question is can we have a discussion about other technologies and how they affect kids? And again, I would say use of smartphones in and out of school, but definitely in school, and on maladaptive reliance upon social media platforms for information gathering and socialization.
So I don't know that that's a policy. I think that's social emotional learning and curricula.
And/or something we could discuss at policy committee as a discussion of where it would go, perhaps?
Well,
Yeah,
there's definitely a
that's what I'm
policy
thinking.
on cell phones, so, but it would have to be a policy discussion.
Yeah, that's my thought, yeah.
Yeah, my suggestion is, I mean, if you had a suggestion for it to insert into any of the three policies, then we could, that would be a discussion for now. But otherwise, it would be for, a future policy committee. So did you have in mind?
No, not necessarily this evening, just
Oh,
to
okay.
kind of see the idea that those are two items I think we should discuss as policy matters, and kind of expand the reach of the change we already saw with respect to AI. I think it's really good that we've kind of picked that and we've noted it, but it's just one thing among,
Sure,
many.
so I just want to so I've noticed, and I can't remember when it started, it could be more so since COVID, but there have been multiple presentations from the counseling department about the use of social media and safety with using computers, and I'm flubbing the names of the presentations, but there have been multiple. Those I think have come out of guidance, but I understand you want to delve deeper into the topic. But I do just want to point out, though, that has certainly at least been starting to be broached by the districts in different areas. So we can maybe put that on the policy.
Yeah, I think it's best to put it in,
So I think that-
because CJ's part of that committee, so we can have
Yeah.
a discussion then.
Sure.
And perhaps rather than discuss it, like seat it here, the best way would probably be to write an email to the chairs of the PPG, so it gets put on a future agenda for discussion.
Absolutely, I just wanted to go on record now, just so that it's known, and I can do an email as well, just to make sure that that's brought forward. I think the curricular element is important, and I've noted, at least, I have children in the school district here. I've really appreciated that curricular element. I think it's great. I just think there needs to be at least discussion about potential other improvements in that regard. That's all.
Sure. Okay. Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Jelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, next we'll move to, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Kristen?
I make a motion for the board to consider action items A and B under curriculum today. A, asks the board to approve a field trip, and B, asks the board to approve 2 student intern, student teacher positions for the 24-25 school year. Can I get a second?
Second.
Sonal? And does anybody have any questions? Okay, let's vote.
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Charles Jelinas,
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, I will now call the board's attention to the notes for the record. Move next to unfinished business. Any new business? And any liaison reports? Okay. Now we'll move on to recognize the public for comments regarding any item that can come before the board. So during this portion of the meeting, members of the public are invited to address the Board of Education on any topic. As a courtesy, allow current students and staff of the Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation, if applicable, for the record, and asks that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual board members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration.
Good evening, Greg Casco, formerly of Westfield, 52 years. I now live in Scotch Plains for 2 weeks, transitioning into retirement. As a former student athlete here at Westfield High School, past president of the Friends of Westfield Track and Field and Cross Country, and its current co-treasurer, and supporter of all Westfield athletics, I'm here tonight to inquire as to the status of this board's approval of a boys and girls 8th grade cross country team at Roosevelt Edison. I'm curious as to why the program has been put on pause after it was approved by this board. The reinstatement of this program would fulfill many of the goals set forth in the district's strategic plan. It encourages all participants to reach their highest potential as productive, well-rounded, and engaged student athletes who value individual differences and embrace diversity. The strategic plan supports individual student growth and achievement and encourages students and staff to feel connected to their schools, which connects to the community, resulting in a sense of pride and belonging. We saw that here tonight. The board-approved 8th grade cross-country team would do just that. If you consider the district's values, which are providing an environment where students deserve to be challenged, supported, and engaged in a safe, inclusive, equitable, and supportive environment, you don't have to look any further than the Westfield High School cross-country team to see these values implemented. Westfield Cross Country has had a storied history of success. Not only success in achievement and accolades, but also success in molding young teenagers into confident, dedicated, goal-oriented young adults with the help of supported coaches, teachers, and athletic department personnel. The eagerly anticipated 8th grade cross-country program will no doubt provide a sense of belonging, create a feeling of autonomy and confidence, teach time and stress management, promote physical fitness and health, encourage cooperation amongst team members, and teach conflict resolution. I know this because I experienced all that Westfield's middle school junior high cross-country team had to offer me when I was a student at Roosevelt in the late 70s. As a volunteer coach myself in Westfield when my daughters participated in 4th through 8th grade sports, I knew that the most important aspects of coaching elementary and middle school kids was building self-esteem, team camaraderie, emotional management, confidence, commitment, compassion, and respect for others. It wasn't about wins and losses at that age. The 8th grade cross-country program would be an asset to the physical, mental, and emotional development of all its participants. Coaching positions were posted by the HR office, interviews were conducted, coaches were to be recommended, so I'm curious as to why this program has suddenly been paused. Training schedules are ready to be implemented, physicals must take place in advance for participation clearance in September. All that's needed is the green light from the administration. The Westfield District has always promoted that it puts its students first, and its decisions have always been guided by what's best for the students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. I'm here to essentially complement what you just heard from Greg Casco. My name is Julia Grimes. I'm the current president of the Friends of Westfield Track. I just want you to recognize it's my understanding that a pause at this point for a cross-country after-school, middle school team essentially stops the launching of this program. A summer is needed to obtain the medical clearance, the uniforms, the proper scheduling, and like. Once again, I said I'm not only am I a president of the Friends of Westfield Track, I'm an alumni, just like Greg Casco, of the program. I parented 3 sons who all went through the program all 4 years, as well as some extended family members that are currently on the team. With this no-cut policy, running is home for all abilities. It's inclusive, its instructive environment is really unique. This is in line with our district's mission of education, of inclusiveness, and camaraderie. As a physician, as an educator, I spend the bulk of my time dealing with obesity. It is a very frustrating day-to-day existence that I spend fighting insurance companies to try to get my patients GLP-1 injections. I would much rather and I would much prefer to be proactive, to find ways to keep our youth active, to avoid the obesity-related complications that I will be dealing with 20 years when I see them in my office. Let's work together and try to remove any barriers. There may be some oversight with this decision, but it is my opinion that this really will table it. Let's try to remove this barrier to provide accessible opportunity to keep our youth fit and healthy. And the added benefit, as elucidated by Greg Casco, the benefit of teamwork amongst their peers. It really is a win-win for all. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you listening to my comments. Good night.
Not seeing any other folks up for comment. I guess I'll close public comment. I don't know if you have a response, Dr. Gonzalez?
No, absolutely. So thank you for your inquiry. First and foremost, the Board of Education Administration has never put forth an approval. So the reference to a approval by the Board of Education, unfortunately, is not consistent with any board agenda item or budgeted item. At this time, the reference to the posting was put forth by the Human Resources Department as it was submitted by the Athletics Department prematurely. There was no request for an addition, and there's no request because at this time, in order to add cross-country, we would have to cut something else. So without having the opportunity for the administration, the principals, and this board to be part of that conversation, that's the reason why there's a pause on moving forward with it for the next year. So with the new athletic director coming on board, we'll have the opportunity to review that the options for next year in order to see what the recommendations could be. And if the recommendations would be to add a position or add a coaching stipend, that could be a possibility. If the recommendation would be to eliminate one sport in order to add another, that would all be part of the analysis. But none of that has taken place, and that's the reason why there has been no moving forward of the proposal. Just as a matter of practice, whenever we introduce new programs, whether it be curricular, extracurricular, athletics, it goes through a process that involves multiple levels of review, not just at a single department, but also at the school level, so that the principals, the school-based administration, the department administration, as well as central office administration have the ability to ask the questions, ensure that there's proper funding, and also to be able to make sure we loop in the Board of Education so that when they have the opportunity to vote on something, they would have the background as well. So I just wanted to be able to provide some explanation to all of that and clarification.
Thank you very much. So having closed public comment, I'm going to ask the board to approve the following resolution for a second executive session today as described. Upon approving the resolution, we will adjourn the public portion of the meeting. We will not return after executive session. So I do ask the board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education move into
Rob,
private.
just no action will be taken.
Oh, correct. Thank you very much. Still getting used to this. Yes, no action will be taken, yes. So approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents. And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. May I have a second, please? Kent? All in favor? Any opposed? or abstentions? Okay, we are in executive session. We'll adjourn from there.